Let me get on. Okay. You are-
Okay,
it is
tonight we're trying the Redfish Crack. This one is actually called a Redfish Crackling. It comes from sitefish.com. It's their pattern. And it's not that much different from the other Redfish Crack that come all out of everywhere in southwest, south of Texas is catching redfish. I think that's where it originated. This version has a little less brush in it. And if you ever purchase brushes, you'll see it. They get quite expensive. So to start off with a Gamakatsu SL12S, that's what we're tying with tonight. But it's stainless, so use it in salt water and it doesn't corrode and it'll last. A B10 size 2 Gamakatsu, use it also. And my philosophy is on that. I don't keep them that long anyway, so I hang up everything. You should have a pair of bead chain eyes. We're doing bead chain because instead of lead eyes, because I like where it doesn't sink as fast. And my experience with redfish, like it's real shallow water most times, so you don't want to plunk to the bottom. This works very well. You got two different colors of chenille in there. You've got an orange piece and a copper piece. Okay. You've also got a chunk of craft fur. Try to cut them out as even as I could to kind of, well, for man. Right. Should have that. A piece of this synthetic hackle. It was Palmer. And I don't even have any redfish brush out here. A set of legs. I'll get it out of this. Just get a chunk of that. And then you got a piece of redfish brush. That's the stuff with the wire on it. It's a brush, but it's on wire, like that. Yep. Okay, everybody good on all that? No, it's in this piece, Bill, a rich. Yeah, there's wire in that. It's just got a little short piece about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches long is all you've got.
Is that the synthetic hackle, Jim?
No, this is Flip. Well, I gotta figure out this camera deal. Right here.
I got you.
It's one-sided. They have a name for it. All these materials come out of Sightcast. Name that is.
I need to go find some of that.
They call that crack wrap. Crack wrap.
I'll be right back. I got to go find some of that.
I'll give you the address for it. Sightcast. Okay.
Doing this stuff right here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like eyelash yarn, really. Yeah, it's finer than that. Okay, so everybody, that's all the materials. I'm tied with red thread, or hot pink's mine. I thought it was red, but I guess I'm colorblind now. But and like all this other stuff, it's like a hot spot on it. It's going to have a red head on it. Black probably wouldn't make much difference, but I'm using red. First thing I'm going to do is going to wrap the hook. I like to wrap the complete hook back into the bend. As we apply materials to it, it keeps them from slipping everywhere. So start right behind the eye and wrap it down into the bend. And then come back up to about 1/8 of an inch from the eye.
About 1 eye back there.
That's about right, Mike. That's about 1/8.
Thanks.
And that's where we're gonna put our bead chain eyes. Okay, so attach the bead chain about 1/8 of an inch, might be probably more than that. I have a tendency to move back. Attach it.
Come back to the front.
Yeah, attach the bead chain about, let me move my finger so you can see. But that far back. and just secure your eyes with figure 8 wraps and a hitch. And then move your thread after you get your eyes wrapped back to the bend of the hook.
Jim, did you do that wrap, horizontal wrap under it?
Yes, I did. I guess I did it too fast. If you do that horizontal wrap under it to cinch and wraps together. And you could probably glue it if you want to. But I'm not doing it on this one. Move something. Yeah, see it back on. Okay, and wrap your thread back to the bend. Right here. Okay. Everybody good? All right, you gotta, and I apologize for being so short. If you can't tie it on there, we'll go get some more. This orange Estes. Somebody's phone.
It's petite size too.
Yeah, it's petite. All right, you're gonna tie this in where you left your thread back in the bend, okay? Take a couple of wraps and secure it. And then move your thread up to about even with the barb. If it's too short a piece for you to work with, let me know, because we're just gonna make 3 wraps with it around the hook. Good, Mike? Bart? You getting there? All right. Now you're coming up to where your thread was. I have to use hackle pliers because I can't hold on to this stuff. But if you want to make like 3 wraps and make a little ball, that's what you're doing. You're making a simulated egg sac on this fly. So just make 2 or 3 wraps. And then tie it off.
Forward.
Yes, wrap it forward, but to about the level part of the hook, where you're still right above the barb of the hook. Yeah, cut it off. Just make a little ball back there. No, it was very little. That's why I had a very short piece in there. Good is. It's good from here.
That might be too forward.
Don't hurt. Big tie something on top of it. Okay. How many have never tied with craft fur? Oh, okay, I'll mark. I'll wait on it. You've never used it, Jim? Well, we're gonna have to get you into it because everything I tied with craft fur. The front door open. I'll fix tell you about that. Okay, craft fur is a synthetic fur. Okay, it has under fur in it. Now, they sell it at Hobby Lobby, but it's useless for what we do. Okay, any fly, well, what I do. Let me rephrase that because it's got a very short. It's very short. This stuff that you buy from fly supply places is this long or longer. All right, it's attached to a. I know I got to come up. There you go. It's attached to a bottom. It's like cloth. Okay. What you need to do is gather this up, and I've got a pair. If y'all got any high price scissors you using, I mean your good scissors, don't use them. I'm because it'll dull them. That's why I got a pair like this. You cut it right and cut the leather part. Am I down there? Off. Okay. So what you got is you get it all off there. What you have is a clump like this. Anybody need to use these scissors? Just use, huh? Damn. I don't know why I want to put things up. So, right there. Use the whole clump. I handed some cones out. There's 3 or 4 floating around here. All right. Grab it by the long end of it. And then take the cone and pull that under fur out. It might not be too bad. See, that's coming out of the cone. This particular brand is not that bad. Some of it, you just get a whole clump of it out. Yeah, and just run it through there. Just like you combing your hair, it pulls out what hair you got left in it. Yeah, just like that. Okay, well, when you got that done, cut it off. You got it all uneven, even it up. Just cut those loose ends and make it square in. Or square as you can get it, like that. All right, I want you to place it right in front of that orange clump and just let it extend in front because your total tail doesn't need about 2 inches long back here. If it's longer, it doesn't matter. But lay it on top of the hook and make a couple of loose wraps. And then tighten it down. And then let your thread hang back down. This stuff right here, this left, you need to try to trim off as much of it as you can. Not all of it, because you can just wrap it down, but just try to trim it off.
Stuff in front.
Yes, sir.
My eyes keep turning.
Huh? Oh, your eyes. Yeah, but trim as much as you can. The rest of it just wrap down. We fix it, cover it up.
With the blonde, I'm gonna find all this.
And then come back to where that same. Yeah, I didn't use scissors for the wrong thing, because they obviously they don't cut anymore. What that orange clump does is help this thing from fouling. If you run your fingers through it, you see how much it'll come out because it's loose stuff in there.
You got the thread right back to the egg sac.
Back to the barb, yeah. Forgot this part. You can do this when you complete, or you can do it now. You need to make, I got a marker right here. 3 barrings. I got one, John. I got one right here. Or you just do it when you get through.
That's the only marker.
Pass that one around. Fine. Yeah, but you know, they recommend using a brown one. Brown one ain't easy to find. Unless you got to buy a pack with 75 other colors, you don't need it.
Hey, Jim, I found brown Copic markers at Joann Fabrics and Hobby Lobby and those things before. They sell individual ones.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. Yeah, Copic, I forgot about Copic. Okay, very good. You got a pair of legs in there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna split them and put 2 on each side. And what I do is I divide them in half over my bobbin, bring it up, hold on, and pull it down on top. Get a pair on each side. And wrap them down. And for right now, just leave them alone. We'll trim them later.
Which way they're supposed to be hanging?
Down.
The tie right. where we-
Yeah, when you go up and pull it down on top, then let them fall to both sides and then wrap back. Don't we do it again?
You have 2 legs out, right?
Where you tie the legs in, Jim? Right?
The bar, is when you get through, I'll be hanging right by the bar, yeah.
See that first part, someone is saying.
All right, next thing we're gonna take this piece of crack wrap and tie it in by the tip, right? Or we just, where the legs went in, just a couple of wraps. So this one, eyelash yarn looking one. And just let it hang.
Where'd you tie it in?
right there we tied the legs in. Me talking, my piece of other stuff blew off.
Yeah, and with it going to that, right?
Whoops.
That didn't sound good.
Yeah.
All right, now you got that other piece of ultra chenille, copper color. Tie it in where you tied in a crack wrap. And move your thread forward to about 1/4 inch behind the eyes.
Piece of metal in it? Yeah, doing backwards. So I'll swap. So you just tie it here and go for the front.
I'm sorry, what did you tie in after that synthetic stuff?
The crack wrap, the other piece of chenille you should have.
Oh, the different color, the other color?
Yes, sir. The copper color.
Okay, that goes in right up, right, okay.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap it, and then the chenille goes over like hackle wraps on top of it, like on a woolly book.
Got it, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it eating one?
Slowly getting there. No.
All right, we're gonna take that piece of ultra chenille and we're gonna wrap it 4 or 5 wraps, wrap them tight together going forward. You still, when you finish, you ought to be about 1/4 inch from the back of those eyes.
Wrap it forward, you said?
Wrap it forward. No, there's should 4 wraps ought to do it on these. And tie it down. A couple wraps and trim off the excess. Everybody there? Now, okay. We waiting on Rich. That's good. That's fine.
Extra special.
What do we do with the eyelash?
Okay, that's the next step.
Oh,
Okay. Now that we've renamed this to eyelash yarn, we want to take 3 wraps forward and kind of space them out, but you'll need 3 wraps and stop where we stop with that chenille. And as you kind of sweep it back, okay, as you wrap it. Try to, so it'll be going to the rear.
forward.
Wrapping it forward, yes. And stop it right where you stopped the last one and tie it off there. And trim off the excess if you have any. And just kind of sweep it back with your fingers. It's gonna look all crazy, but Good. Okay. Now, last thing we have is a redfish brush. It's got several different things in it, but you notice it's on a piece of wire. So get the tip and brush everything back in one direction. It's gonna look all scraggly looking. Take that wire tip and tie in right on top of where you, in the space you got left, that's what I did, and tie it down and then move your thread back forward. So you got it just like that.
You ready to go in front of the eyes yet?
No, we're not going in front of the eyes, we're staying behind. This is one of those where we finish the fly, it'll be behind the eye. Okay, if you notice, you can brush this stuff, you can pull it all back in one direction. Okay, so when we wrap it, try to keep it going back. See how mine's looking like a flag going in that direction? We want to keep that stuff going back to the back.
Mhm.
Back toward the tail.
Go back to it. You can use your phone for that. He's gonna tell you when you get
Oh,
You wrap it back.
No, just, I said, pull it back like this. So just brush it back. Look at here. See,
Damn it.
I'm not wrapping anything. It's standing straight up.
what's a good way to wrap it down where the wire doesn't pull out?
Thread pressure. I mean, pull down on it. That's why I use 140. It doesn't tighten it down. Now, when we tie that one, y'all will think it's a bad. Okay, everybody got it?
Nope.
Yep.
I had to retie it.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're not on. Got it, Mike?
About, I got another. Sorry, have you go. You got it tied up.
Okay. All right. So now you want to wrap it forward till you got it behind the eyes. Okay. As close as you get to the eyes, we'll crowd it. Keep in mind, keep it pushed back. If you think about it, it probably looks like something on crack. And it takes like 3 wraps, go around it behind the eyes of the thread to tie it down. Mine's a little short. Watch that wire on the end because it will stick you. It should have a mess that looks like that.
You wrap it down.
And tie, yeah, wrap it down behind the eyes right here.
And it should bend back the end of your wire and wrap around that.
Yeah, that you should, but I didn't have that much on there. I was down just the end of it. If you got a wire left off, you could bend it back and wrap it, but you should with those pieces, y'all finish up right behind the eye. And the only thing you need to do after that is go up in front of the eyes. Yeah, that's all I can do. Is and build you a head in front of the eyes,
Just in front and around both.
right here in front. Okay, and then whip finish. A rich half hitch it.
Thank you. Rich, you may have a little about that. Well, in fact, you weren't here when we did the.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
CDs.
Get through. And you can take a brush, which I don't have one, and brush all this stuff out. The legs, I would cut them just a little bit shorter than the tail. I guess it's personal choice. That is it. Get it off.
Well, I'm starting recording, you're still on Zoom.
Okay.
Paul, is that you? I see a small picture of Paul Robertson there. Yeah. Peter, Flip. All good?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a nice looking fly.
Yeah, that's a good bat.
My tail's pretty long though.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 2 inches. I mean, I didn't measure them tonight, but that's their recommendation, so
And you can trim it, Peter,
Trim
if
it,
you
you-
want. You know, how you can just kind of open your scissors
you kind of pull them.
slightly and just kind of almost shave the craft fur with slightly open scissors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Make sure that, you know, this points that way and this is pointing toward you.
Flip, you still there?
I am.
Okay, this, that ain't gonna work. Never mind. I don't have to, I'll send it to you.
All right.
Up and back.
Sitecast. I know what this, where the website is, Jim.
Okay, that's it. That's
Yeah.
where, that's where all this stuff came from.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have any of that material, but I managed to.
Well, it's a lot more of that crack wrap in there than it is the brushes, because brushes come 3 in a pack, whereas the other ones from EP brushes from Ernie Cole, whatever his name is, there's 5 in a pack for it.
Yeah, that's what I use.
They're longer, yeah.
Yeah, that crack wrap, John was carrying it in his shop for a while. I know. I have some from there, so you may be able to find it over at Pack and Paddle.
They didn't have any Wednesday, the
You
other
didn't?
night,
Okay.
Thursday night, he didn't have any of it,
Ah, gotcha.
or else I missed it, because I
We did
looked.
buy a package of EP brushes.
Yeah, we bought EP brush, but the site cast product itself, I didn't believe I'd seen it. It's always in that, so.
It's like polar chenille, huh? It's almost the same.
Well, it's one side.
Yeah, it's slightly smaller than polar chenille, I think.
It's a different material.
And it's one-sided instead of all the way around.
That's what we laughed about the eyelash yarn, because the eyelash yarn is one sided. Like,
I've seen something else like that.
and you got all kinds of color combinations you can do it in blue, like with crab simulation. And that's other color they recommend, but they've got all kinds of color. And purple, common saltwater color.
And one recipe I saw didn't have the crack wrap. It had just an EP brush, but it
Yeah.
had like rubber legs in it.
Right. There's a very simple version of it that we started off like we did, not even with the egg sac. You wrap the the brush all the way forward to the eyes with legs and, yeah.
So what's the name of the website?
Side cat. SIGHT. But I think what this does is there's enough shiny stuff in that crack wrap and that chenille under it instead of just what you've got in a
Yeah, that's real
redfish brush. It
shiny.
gives off a lot more shine and
I
stuff.
didn't see it on TV.
You're welcome.
Good one. Yeah. That's a good one.
Really not that difficult after you do a couple of, because it's simpler than some other things I just don't know if, I'm sure Bass would hit it too, whatever.
I think we are. Too tight and white. White and blue.
How small would you tie?
I mean, it catches anything that swims in the marsh. I'd assume a bass would take it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a 2.
That's a 2, but how far down, how small would you go with it?
Far.
I mean, when does it work? I mean, it simulated, almost a profit in color, you know? What I
That's,
mean?
that size would be fine for bass.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You could easily tie 4 if you want to beat 10s.
Right, okay.
I normally don't go below 4 on any of them. On my bass flies.
Okay.
What do you use if you don't have the brushes, the store-bought brushes?
I don't know, Mike, because that's a critical part of it.
Brush, where you can make the,
I mean, you can make your own brushes.
well, yeah, you do it when you, brush, talking about, if you make those ones that,
See, this is a wire, and this is laid on a brush table. It's laid, all these pieces, this is laid down. Then you take the other wire, this is spinning.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, Chris Parker was supposed to be here tonight. He built him a brush maker last month, and he's been making brushes.
We gave me yours and I haven't made a brush on it.
Oh, you're small, yeah, but I got the big one.
Yeah.
I had the big one. I ain't used it either.
Death grip, with that,
Yeah,
where you make the brush itself.
You do it.
yeah, that's, but,
That's
what-
like a dub.
yeah, and that's,
Like a dub brush.
yeah, this is a dubbing brush,
Yeah, it's just really wide on wire.
but it's on wire.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is. So you don't have to, good try, Mike. You could sit there and make a dubbing brush and do it if you want to do it that way.
I mean, you could cut, any kind of flash material. Right. That's,
Just lay it down in that, yeah. double
Yeah.
brush.
you could cut, EP fibers, that kind of stuff.
I'm just mentioning that because you don't have the people.
But Mike, even this right here, those 3 are what, 8 inches long, and it's $18, okay? But you could probably tie 40 out of that bag. See how much I used of that? You could probably try 40 flies out of that right here. That much.
No, because you don't, yeah, because you're not using it.
Not using that much. And even if you used it all past the tail and just used it all the way forward, they're not using that much. It goes pretty far.
Yeah.
And then if you go buy one of them, it's one of those Redfish Crack at the store, it's $6 or $7. It's pretty expensive to buy just a fly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean, you go buy them, they're not gonna be that. They're gonna be-
How much are they?
I don't have any idea. I think on there, they're $6 or $7.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were up to about 12 at Orvis right now.
Oh, Chris said they're 12 at Orvis.
What's,
So
what's 12 at Orvis?
That.
Oh, the flies, $12 each at
Hey.
Orvis?
I think they're actually tying them in shop now, they said, because the wholesale price that they were getting from whoever they were buying from was gonna make them have to sell them a minimum of 12 apiece. So yeah, the wholesale flies are getting pretty expensive these days.
So see, $18 for this isn't that bad.
So one of these days, we may actually save money by tying flies. Is that what?
I keep telling myself that.
The free shipping that kills you,
Don't advertise that if you do.
about $20 more, you get free shipping.
$600 buy.
All right, y'all, next month, Chris, you're tying Glades minnow, is that right, Chris?
Yep, we're gonna do a Glades minnow next month.
And tell us about that fly. I've never fished it, so.
So it's effectively meant as kind of a small, almost rain bait fly for kind of the Everglades, fishing for snook, tarpon, whatever else will bite. Maybe about 2 inches long, just meant to imitate some of the smaller bait fish down there. And it's fairly simple fly that really just utilizes craft fur for almost the entirety of it. Where we pulled out that undercoat of the craft fur for this one, you actually use that to kind of build a head on the Glades minnow when you tie it. You're not wasting all that excess craft fur that tends to come out of some of these when you're tying in these tails like this.
All right, so that, and we'll be back to the second Monday for November, back to our normal second Monday of November. So we'll get info out on that pretty soon. Chris is gonna make the drive up here and leave us in person.
Y'all get them colored?
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it. Haven't been up there in too long now.
Congratulate him for us for his.
yes, and
Oh, he's on TV this week.
yeah, and I'll send out an email, and I think I sent one out already. I put it on Facebook. Chris won the FFI Fly Fishing Education Skills Award this year. That's like the international worldwide FFI. Jeff Ferguson also won the Mel Krieger Award for casting instruction. That Zoom meeting is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I'll send an email out to all of KFF with that link to that Zoom. So I'm going to tune in. Hopefully, as many of us as we can will tune in and support both of that. I will forewarn you there, because this is the same meeting I was in last year. Some of the awardees can get fairly long-winded, so make sure you have a cup of coffee or whatever your evening beverage is to
Can you fast forward it?
to get through. Well, no, we have to
It's
wait.
live.
We have to wait on our own men. Chris is going to be at Rally Cap Brewery in Baton Rouge.
They make it any
He's-
longer when.
He's all right, so. But anyway, I will send that link out, but congratulations, guys, that's awesome.
I appreciate it. And they were supposed to give me a heads up about when in that 2-hour span my award will be coming up. So if I find that out, I'll let you know as well, Bill. That way some folks might be able to save themselves a little bit of time.
Yeah, they did me last, they gave me an order.
So I'm still waiting for that, but I'll let you know once I know it.
Okay, cool. All right, good night, folks. We will catch you next time, so. Flip, Peter, Chris,
Thanks.
Good night.
good night.
Hey,
y'all.
guys.
Thanks so much.
They all gone.
Thanks,
Hey,
Jim.
before we finish, you're welcome, Peter. Before we finish here,